Hey guys and gals, Nissan here, and today is part 2 of Rei, the Schizophrenic Angel. Fun. So, I'm gonna pick up where I left off and really go into the symptoms, the rest of the symptoms that is, and then I'm gonna delve in deeper to how she was constructed and really reflects a schizophrenic character or schizophrenic person, and how the fact that she's an angel also really works as a schizophrenic person and how that kind of goes into who she is and why she's actually a very interesting, very complex character in 10 minutes or less. So, mood, anger. She gets angry with, not with, but about anything to do with Gendo at first and then with Shinji. Those are the only two people that she has any semblance of any real human connection with, and actually seems to be willing to put her life on the line. Also, she'll put her life on the line almost anyone just because of one of the other symptoms, apathy. And she's really attached to Gendo at first. It's very clear. It's interesting because she gets so angry at Shinji after he's messing around with Gendo's glasses. And when he talks about him just in a negative way, she slaps the shit out of him on the escalator. It's because she sees Gendo as her god, essentially. And then she recognizes what Gendo really is towards the middle to the end of the series, and then she is able to kind of switch to that love and attention, at least what her version of that is, to Shinji. And then there's anxiety. She doesn't really have that. I'll skip over that. Apathy. Rei doesn't really understand human connection. She doesn't really care about it at all, really. At first, anyway, and outside of maybe Gendo and then Shinji. And then a little bit more towards the people as well, and that becomes her big deal, really, is the fact that she's able to really connect with other people with doing Ava, and that's actually really beautiful when you really think about that. But she really seems to, for the longest time, have a really apathetic viewpoint on the world. She doesn't seem to really care about anyone or anything, or herself, for that matter. And the feelings detached from self. Yes, Rei is very detached from herself towards the bitter end. It's only really towards the end where she has this sense of self. So when you go into schizophrenic people kind of have. That's why I think a lot of people confuse schizophrenia with like split personality disorder. So schizo means split, and paranoia means mind. So schizophrenia literally means split mind. But it's not that she has personalities, right? She has multiple personalities. So yes, this kind of leads into multiple personality disorders. So because of that and all these voices in her head, which is a psychological symptom, that's a positive symptom. Not in a obviously good way. There are positive symptoms which are add-ons. Negative symptoms which are not necessarily bad, but usually are bad. Those are lack, and there are dissociative symptoms. And really, she's all three of them, but I would put her more in the negative, as she seems to have a lot of lack. General discontent? Yes, absolutely. Rei is discontented with her life. All the way, maybe a little towards the end, she kind of starts to kind of see the light a little bit, but she really doesn't seem to have any joy in her life. She doesn't seem to really have any fun. She's just a very serious character who's more or less built to please and really be emotional support for Gendo. Lost interest or pleasure in activities? No, she doesn't really show that. She doesn't care about anything at first, to be quite honest. Elevated mood or inappropriate emotional response. She doesn't really get an elevated mood like that, but she does have these inappropriate emotional responses, as if she just won't give a fuck. It's more than just a stoic response. It's like she just something happens, like someone asks her questions, like yes, and really be cold, seemingly cold, but that's just her deal. So there's psychological, which are the add-ons for the most part. Hallucinations. She has a few. For example, this actually goes another symptom for psychological hearing voices. There's one where she sees several versions of herself. She's within that, and they're going through her and whatnot. And all the while, she's hearing like hundreds of voices, maybe thousands, just of the same thing of her. And that really goes into both and really feeds her paranoia, which is another symptom. And her paranoia goes into first realizing, kind of thinking about Nerve and Gendo and the others and what is up with her, who she really is. And then that kind of feeds into her disabandoning Gendo, and then you go to end of Evangelion and whatnot, what happens there, you can really see that the paranoia kind of brought her to that point. Depression? I guess you can say Rei is in a light state of depression the whole series. She's like in a, actually, you know what? I might say she's also a low level. She's in low level anxiety. That's what she's experiencing as well. It's not like she's outward super anxious or super depressive, but it's a low. There's a low level version that underlines the character. Fear. She's very scared of everything. Really, not. She's scared of the truth and what she really is. And that's one of the reasons why she has really focused on it a lot, and she's always kind of trying to run away from that and run into other people. Well, not other people, but really just embrace Gendo and then eventually Shinji. Persecutory delusion? Not really. Or religious delusion? Not really either. So speech. What else is there? Circumstantial speech. I have to think about that. Not too much, really. Incoherent speech, a little bit. Her speech, I would say, and I'm going to finish up with this one, rapid and frenzied speaking or speech disorder. I would say the thing about her that fits schizophrenia in this category as well is that she talks in a way where someone asks her a question, she's really one word with it. Like, if Rei was a mom, so actually, you have kids? She'll be like, yes. She wouldn't say like, yes, I have 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl, blah, 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 one goes to school here, one goes to school there. She wouldn't really go into any of that at all. So, how is she a really schizophrenic person? So, the way I believe that Anu constructed her, which is really genius in my opinion, is that he constructed her in a way that really shows what a schizophrenic person really is. And a schizophrenic person is someone who, on the offset, doesn't really seem like a human person. Like a human at all, really. Not just Rei, but anyone really that's schizophrenic. We have a huge stigma against it. We really shame people with schizophrenia. They're only 1% of the population, and they really go by the wayside in a lot of ways. And Rei really shows that in the sense where like you can empathize with Rei, and you can't really relate to her though. That's what makes her, I believe, a very interesting character. Is that while she on the offset isn't really human. Is definitely not human, but like just the way she acts is not human. There's something distinctly human about her that makes her just very interesting to watch. She could be the most interesting character in Evangelion outside of maybe Karu. He's a very complex character. Only Karu because he just wasn't in a lot of episodes. But Rei definitely shows these really interesting, deep, complex sides of her, and how the angel part, how that goes into this is as well as that. So Rei is literally an angel. She has no real soul. The other 2 have souls, as I mentioned in the Freud video. She's kind of a copy of Shinji's soul inside there with the soul of Yui. So she is part of Yui, which is one of the reasons why if you remember the end of her. Not the series, but when she dies, she's about to basically have sex with Shinji, her spirit, or whatever that is, and Shinji's Eva, and she doesn't see this as right. She's an angel in a place where she was built to please. She was built to bring, just be there for everyone around her, and really, be able to be someone who eventually self-sacrifices. So she's been very pure. She's been the most pure character on the show. So when she's about to want to have sex with Shinji, essentially, she can't. She says it no. She just can't have it. So then when Misato's like, "Hey, are you trying to die?" She lets herself die. She essentially kills. She kind of essentially kills herself, and because she was pure, she just couldn't have that as well. Schizophrenia is a very, very deep and interesting topic, and like I said, there's a lot of sides to it. I believe the way Rei was constructed really shows the precipice of how deep this is. For more, watch A Beautiful Mind. That's a great movie as well, and that's based off a real person. And it's all about him. Or Rei's part of this series, so you can go in deeper. But she's a great little introduction to it as well. So thank you all for listening. Check out my web novel. Check out my Patreon page. Like, comment, subscribe if you like, or whatever. And I'll see y'all later.